Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy
Here he
came
is,
home
ladies and gentlemen, in 2017
every
with a new haircut,
day.
Jerry Springer.
Actually, yes, at 8:30 this morning, I had a haircut on the way to the show.
On the way to the show, like in a limousine or something?
Sure,
has people come to him.
My people take me there, and then we go in. But here's the good news about the haircut is the young woman who did the shampoo.
Oh, I can't. We're sorry, whoever you are.
Her
by
name
the
is
way.
Allie, and she listens to the podcast.
Whoa.
How much
That's
do you
wonderful.
pay her to listen?
Well, no, see, that's it. That's not anyone I ever told that I do a podcast to.
Yeah.
She was saying, this is strange, but I was listening. Do you have a podcast? Is that you?
No kidding.
Yes.
That's nice.
So up to 4.
Up to 4. Hey, by the way,
6 with mom and dad.
Yes.
we have
Anyway, yes.
Mall Crow and the Lady Slippers are coming up to
Yeah.
play some music.
Can't wait to hear you guys again.
And Jerry, we're going to get you to talk about what's going on with the Russians. That's kind of some weird stuff's happening. Hey, before we do that, I wanted to tell you, and Megan, you know we have on the website this survey, this poll. Would you like to see this picture? And, you know, it's just a headshot of Jerry. It's a shoulder, head and shoulders, we call it. And he's in, I got the picture. It came from a family vacation, his family, my family, our spouses, our young children. It was weird because Megan had a family vacation with children at Hilton Head Island. Jerry's in a Speedo.
Yeah, well, that makes
No,
sense.
no, I think so. Anyway, and I
Ew.
have this picture.
Ew.
I know.
Oh,
And I cropped it. It's cropped.
you're just like my wife. Ugh.
I cropped it.
Yeah.
And the survey is, would you like to see it? One question is, hell yes. A response, the other is, for the love of God, no.
See what?
The full
The
picture.
rest
Oh.
of the picture.
Because I cropped it just the top part.
Yes.
And I just wanted to report, 88% of America says show the
Okay,
picture.
let's be very, very clear. 88% of our listeners.
Right, well,
Let's not
Which is a
confuse that with
sliver
America.
of America.
what was it? About 330 million people in
Yeah.
America?
Right, right. So
Well, we have, our ratings are about the same as Fox News, so.
It's a family vacation, and what was that when I was doing?
Yeah,
when you were
you were doing a
flexing?
bodybuilding pose. You
Yeah.
were doing all, you know,
It was
we would like to
unfortunate.
pump you up kind of thing.
Yeah, I was, well, Anthony Weiner was there.
Oh, my God.
so you had to show off.
Oh, my God. Hey, by the way,
Testing.
corporate
Oh,
is
no.
back on me again.
Oh.
This time, I got both emails and calls. They start with emails and they demand a meeting. So I had this meeting, and it's about, in apparently the last episode, there were like 40 F-bombs dropped.
All coming from your sweet little
No,
mouth.
I don't
Mr.
remember
Galvin.
that.
I
And
know
they
it didn't
said
come
to
from
me,
me.
well, that's what I told them it did, because they were asking. We got phone calls from like mothers who were taking their kids to the mall in the minivan. They're listening to the podcast. All of a sudden, they had, you know, and I'm going to use the word freak for the F-bomb, you know, freak this, mother freaker this, mother freaker that. And I said that I would talk to you, and that going forward, this would stop. So I appeal to you, do not
What's he
cuss
saying?
anymore.
Yeah, okay, so let's be very, very clear, and our friend David over here could replay everything, and it all came out of your mouth,
I don't
sir.
think we need to do that.
There's no reason you didn't look
Actually,
into
I
it,
do
did you?
remember that now that I think. I have trouble remembering things, but that's right.
Yeah.
It was you. You did curse a lot.
That was
during
the
show.
night of our Christmas party, in fact.
Oh.
The night before the Christmas party, it was F-bomb.
Wasn't
F-bomb,
that a
F-bomb.
drunken
debauchery?
party? Gee.
That everyone was gone by like 10.
Who wasn't wearing Speedos today?
We all had real jobs.
You you do Elvis. You replace Elvis
I never
because
did
you were an
Elvis.
Elvis
Oh, you
fan.
mean
No,
sing
yeah,
Elvis.
yeah.
But
And you did a thing that's on
TMZ?
BuzzFeed, TMZ, yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you do there in Texas? Tell us about it, and then would you perform it for us? Because if you're going to do it for TMZ, do it on your own podcast.
Oh, let him go to TMZ. No, here. For the last 5 years, you know, I normally travel around the country to the affiliates that carry our show, which
For your
is
TV
every
show.
For the TV show.
Yep.
And I go there once a year to do promotion, cut some commercials, meet with the sponsors. You know, that's the business. But Dallas, which is a major market, obviously, I do that in January because every year this this bar there, or nightclub, has an Elvis night on his birthday, January 8th. He would have been 82. They have a big Elvis party.
Okay.
And I happened to have been in town 5 years ago doing the promotion, and they talked about that and invited me there, and I said, well, that's my generation. I grew up with Elvis. We all wanted to be Elvis. And they said, well, do you know any of his songs? This on the morning radio show. So I started singing a little bit Elvis as a joke. They said, you got to come tonight. Oh. And now, every year, I go into this bar. They have big signs, Jerry, to sing Elvis tonight. And I walk into the place. I mean, the place, it goes crazy. Now, you might think, well, wait a second. How am I going to sound like Elvis? And I remind the audience that I am Elvis at 73.
Yeah.
See? A lot of people can do him at 26 when he was 28. But how do you know what he sounded like at 70, if he lived to 73? Exactly like this.
I think we're going to find out. Because I think you need to do on your own podcast what you just did the other night at that bar.
And I think Gene Galvin needs better.
We don't have any background music.
Oh, we got background music.
You what?
Casey Campbell.
All of you should be
You got your
paid.
guitar?
This is not going to be good.
Oh.
Thanks, Casey. Thank you.
All right, do it. Do it a cappella. Ho!
Oh,
Ho! Ho!
My notes. There goes Russia.
Oh my God! Wait a second. This is serious.
That's the whole
Hey,
podcast.
we need help.
Russia.
We need help.
There goes Russia.
No, hey, help! We need a writer.
Seriously, we need some napkins.
We're
This
fine.
is why we can't have nice things.
That's why we can.
Jerry just knocked a coffee.
And this is my
Over.
notes.
For the
so
whole
last night at the
podcast.
hotel.
And what hit?
And I wrote my
It's
notes
all over
down.
his
Well,
notes.
You know, I have the pad and my glasses too.
Are these the good ones?
Those are the reading glasses. Are you there? Can I hear you?
Love me tender, love me true, never let me go. Oh, my darling, I love you, and I always will. Oh, me now.
It's unbelievable.
And that hair's the whole thing, too.
And that was worth spilling.
Well, the show's called Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery.
That
and
was
that's
the
some damn
tomfoolery part.
Can we
Yeah.
fix that hair again there, Jim?
Yeah,
That's
it was
pretty bad.
I have a quick old people story. This is
It's not going to be quick.
No, because I can't. But this actually happened to us, and it reminded Mickey and me that we're getting old.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's over the holidays. It's 4 o'clock we're asleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden we hear zzz, like an alarm going.
Wow.
What? So we're reaching for our phones, and my phone doesn't have an alarm. It's a flip phone. So, it's not the phones, and it's not the, there are no clocks going off. And then we think, oh my gosh, could this be like an Amber Alert or a tornado? In Florida, it could be that.
Yeah.
And then we can't find where it is. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm stumbling around. Can't you turn that off? I said, well, I don't know what it is. I'm going in the bathroom. My toothbrush, the electric toothbrush. And it's on. It's going. I said, what the? And then I hit the button to turn it off. It won't turn off. You try. It won't. And anything. I'm hitting this. She says, turn it off. I said, I can't. So she gets out of bed and she's, where are we on? 2 old people trying to turn off the
I
damn-
thought that was going to be like a Gene joke, is what I was waiting for.
This is a true story. Now, Richard, he's staying, our grandson, he's staying down, and we don't want to wake him up. You wake up, an 8-year-old at 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
he doesn't go back to sleep. So we're trying to, I'm saying, well, let's put it in the drawer, and stifle it, or put it under the towels. Mickey said, oh, start a fire. Don't do that. Well, what about if I dump it in the sink? You'll electrocute yourself. This is going on and on.
Wow.
So she says, just throw it out the window. Then the neighbors will get it. We'll let the police here. How do you? So she has an iPhone, and she says, let's Google, how do you turn off? I'm not making this up. You can find it yourself. How do you turn off an electric toothbrush? And there is this guy, I think from the Czech Republic, on YouTube, there's a video of this guy explaining how, because there's no obvious place to get the batteries out. And I am now taking a hammer and smashing the thing. And honestly, it took 20 minutes and we finally got the thing
That
off.
is,
I really truly thought that was a setup to a Gene Galvin joke,
It
and
isn't.
I was going
It
to be
is an
so mad.
absolutely true story. I did not embellish it. It was unbelievable. And we said, we can't tell anybody. And then I said, podcast.
Except for we have to tell everybody.
Don't you
everybody.
dare.
Keep
Well,
it
you
fresh,
know,
Chair. Keep it
keep it
fresh.
fresh.
that makes me think, the other day, I was sitting out on the porch of my,
I double dog dare you to get through this
I
right
was sitting
now.
out on the porch
Yeah.
of my single wide where I live, on
Yeah.
our porch.
Yeah, I've
And
been
I
there,
had
yeah.
my nephew was there, Billy. And Megan, you know how Jerry's always making fun of you and me, because we're Kentuckians.
Sure,
And we
sure.
talk a little differently. We have a little
Sure
bit of
do.
slang and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're
From the New Yorker. Yeah.
He's got a real Kentucky.
So my
Yeah.
brother was over there for the afternoon. He's real cityfied. My brother was
Jerry or
Oh,
Jim or
He's as
Tim.
urban as
He's
you get.
urban, man.
He's urban.
And my nephew Billy said, I think it might hail this afternoon. And I said, yep. And then we sat around and we don't talk much, just sort of looking at the cars going by. And then my my nephew Billy said, oh my God, he said, I think getting kind of late on, get the hell out of here. And he left. And my brother said to me, how do you understand what he's talking about? I said, what do you mean? And he says, well, he used hell and hail.
Yeah.
It's the same word. And I said, well, can't you spell? One spelled H-E-L-L and the other's H-I-L. H-A-I-L.
Educator for 45 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Former teacher. Anyway, that's pretty much it.
Where's this going? You know what, though, Gene, I have to give you some credit. It's better than some of the other ones you told.
You know what?
Because he
You know
wanted
what,
to get the
Megan?
hell out of
What's
there.
that, Gene?
I get these off the internet. Why? Don't blame me. Blame Al Gore or something. I mean,
He started the stupid internet. It's his fault.
no. So, hey, this one I do know about. Melania Trump called again and left
Oh,
a message.
really?
God love her. How was her New Year? Can't wait to
Well,
hear about
and
it.
I normally don't listen to these before.
Right.
And David told me in a phone call the other day.
It was
he
better
said,
than Mariah Carey's.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
sweet
so.
Jesus. Although, I saw many memes that said that was not what was it? It's not the performance she expected, but it was the performance that
Jesus, my
2016
God.
deserved
Yeah.
as Gene drops his water. No, it's true.
Hey, but David told me.
Napkin.
Now we got this all cleaned up.
No, you don't have this. It's all over this. There goes Russia.
Hey, but do you know that Melania Trump has been getting publicity, which is very positive, that she is way
Super smart.
super smart,
Yeah.
much smarter than a lot of people might give her credit for. And so anyway, she left this message, and I actually listened to this one, and this is pretty interesting. This is Melania Trump. David?
Hello, Jerry. This is Melania. The news reports lately say that I have very high IQ, and this is all very true. For example, I know that Avogadro's number is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. I know that Boyle's law states that at standard temperature and pressure, the pressure is always inversely proportional to the volume. And I know that Biff is the only character to undergo any change in Death of Salesman, and hence its protagonist. But what I do not know is why my Donald gets out of my bed 3-4 times a night just to go play on Twitter. He says stupid things that our house staff is snickering at all next day. Anyway, Jerry, I love you and I love your show. Please do not play this on your podcast, though. Ciao, Bella. Mwah.
Do not play this on your podcast. Last
No,
words.
I just played it over there.
But she is super smart.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And Avogadro's number,
I didn't know.
Boyle's
Avogadro-
law,
I didn't
Yeah,
even. I
Boyle's
don't know what that
Law,
is.
yeah.
knows the protagonist,
Yeah.
what makes
Death of the
Biff.
Salesman.
That's unbelievable. I
The only
think.
one that did not understand.
So I think that you guys should stop ripping her, and let's give her the
Jean
respect she
Galvin, one of these
deserves.
days. One of
So
these
Trump
days,
gets
sir.
up several times a night. Just
Yeah,
To
not to
tweet her.
pee, but to go
I
on
get up
Twitter.
several
Yeah,
times a night too. But
yeah, right.
Yours is less
Hey.
public, I guess.
sometimes.
January 21st,
Yes.
Women's March on Washington.
Sure.
And I think it's going to be huge, and I think we should, first of all, give it attention and ask people who would be interested to, you can go to womensmarch.com. Gloria Steinem and and Harry Belafonte and some other really notable progressives are participating in this. Then they're happening all over the country in cities too.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has one, Pittsburgh.
It's
Cleveland,
interesting, a
et
lot of the
cetera.
women that started that Pantsuit Nation, the underground kind of
Yep.
internet sensation that was for Hillary Clinton, they're organizing them all over the place. And I know that they have a hand in this, but they are doing ones in Cincinnati locally as well.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty impressive
Yeah,
movement.
so it's something that we want our listeners to know about, participate in. We're giving some discussion as to whether we can go to either local ones or the national ones, and I know
Yeah.
Jerry's schedule, because
That kind of stuff has to be done, and it has to now be done for the next 4 years
Yep.
on a continuing basis, because it's the only defense we have to what will happen to our country if we don't do it. Because
Well-
we're not in power right now. And if the people in power, that's not the majority of Americans, remember, they voted for Hillary, but.
by
if the-
3 million votes
Yes.
difference, too.
But the people that have the power now.
Right.
That's the only way we can stop them from doing horrible things to our country. So it has to come from the people. I mean, this is a time, and not just for a few people showing up for a protest in terms of the whole population, but I mean, the whole nation. There ought to be stuff going on all year round, all communities, for all kinds of causes. If we just sit back, I don't know if you heard the hearings today with Sessions,
Yeah.
the new Attorney General. And some of the stuff they were talking about, I didn't know when he was district attorney in Alabama.
Yep.
What they do, they have the poles there, and this isn't a joke about dancing poles, this is serious, where they take prisoners and they handcuff them to a pole outdoors in blazing heat for 8-9 hours. And they put them in chain gangs there and all this stuff. Finally, the Supreme Court, while he was when he was Attorney General, Supreme Court stepped in and said this is a violation of the Constitution, cruel and unusual punishment. But you have to ask yourself, why did you have to wait for a court to realize that that's
Right.
an unhuman thing to do? I mean, that's what's going on with a lot of these appointments. Why don't we just have one rule in America? Be nice. I mean, if that was your guiding principle, to be nice, if you think of every evil we have, whether it's the government, whether it's crime, whatever it is, if people would just think, if you're in a public office, it's not a nice thing to do. It's not a nice thing to do to cut out health insurance for 20 million people. What's wrong with these politicians that are doing that? By the way, every single one of them has health insurance that we pay for.
Right.
Okay? Every congressman, every senator has health insurance that we pay for. And they have the nerve to think about cutting health insurance for its citizens? Up to 20 million of them? I mean, why do we can't just take it. This is horrible what these people are doing. I'm getting off the subject. But anyway, you're talking about the Women's March the day after the inauguration. That's great. And there got to be a lot of things like that. And it can't stop. It isn't the election's over. This is our country. We're not willing to admit that the country's over. So therefore, we have to be very active. If you've never been politically active before, now's the time to get politically active. And it can be pure this time, because it's not just for political office. It's easy to get riled up when you got a campaign going on, because there's a competition, there's an end date, we're going to win, we're going to lose, whatever. That gets you going. But if you really care about the country, the battle has to go on 365 days a year. our country is under a threat right now, and I'll talk about that in a few moments.
Yeah, in fact, I want to ask you about that, about this Russian situation, because it's quite a situation with a lot of things hanging off of it. Before I do, what did the guy from Czechoslovakia on YouTube say you do to stop an out-of-control toothbrush,
I really
electric
don't
toothbrush?
like you. at
Well, no,
all.
I'm like, what do you do?
Well, the brand we had, there apparently you can twist something off at the very bottom,
Okay.
but no human being.
No, it's called the
Can-
power source. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just twist the bottom. That's,
Yeah, it's pretty simple, isn't
But
it?
pretty simple.
No, we were trying everything, and the thing is, it was chipped away, so we couldn't even get a screwdriver that would get it. It is no easy way.
So you're-
And the reason they don't make it easy is because if it fell into the water, which when you're brushing your teeth, it's possible it'll fall into the sink or the bathtub or whatever. So therefore, they make it waterproof. Well, in making it waterproof, you can't get inside.
So what-
It was horrible.
I have to
Yeah.
ask you a
You
very
think you
serious
got
question.
that problem.
Yeah. You have more money than God, correct? You could hire someone to just unscrew the bottom of your
Yeah,
toothbrush.
just get somebody to come over.
Like,
They
this is,
have been hired.
going
And you
forward.
can't just hire one, because the one has vacations.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it days off. So you gotta
What are you
hire
gonna do
two.
on a random
Some of
Tuesday?
what if my toothbrush doesn't turn off on the
Here's
weekend?
a
I
here's a
have to have someone
major
can do
major
it.
thought, Jerry, and I don't know if you know about this, but I'm just going to let you know. They sell toothbrushes in regular grocery stores and even convenience stores that you just manually
Yes,
use
and
that
you can
don't
do it.
have any battery associated.
Your
to
I
it.
am to move my arm.
Your own arm to brush your own tooth.
Excuse me?
Just throwing it out there. If it gets that bad in the zombie apocalypse, you'll know how to brush your teeth.
So all these years of schooling, so that I now, after all that, I still have to brush my own teeth.
Sorry, buddy. I have to. I'm sure.
I do.
Well, Gene probably
Well,
does.
Yeah, I do.
Gene, by the way, you gotta clean the pool, huh?
Yeah. So what's going on with the Russians?
Oh.
And there's new stuff popping as we're recording this with
which
CNN.
makes it even more relevant, I think. I'd like to start off just for a minute to say what's going on with Russia and how it is a serious threat to the United States and how it is part of an overall plan. Now, before we start thinking conspiracy theories, let's get a little bit of the history here. One of the things that distinguishes a democracy such as ours from countries like Russia and China, for example, authoritarian countries, is one of the advantages they have is they can view issues long-term. They can have a long-term plan with how they're going to develop what they're going to do. Because in an authoritarian society, they don't have to worry about public opinion. One of the problems we have here in America, because we have free speech, because we have free elections, is that every politician, anyone that makes any kind of a decision, has to worry about the political implications and public opinion. Why do you think it's taken 50 years to try to get some kind of health insurance for all Americans? Because it was always a political price to pay if you raise people's taxes to do that. So every decision that is made in America, the politics get involved in it, and we see it. We see it with the gridlock. In dictatorial societies, they don't have to worry about that. So Russia has never been a democracy. Russia has always had one plan for its survival, and that was, we talked a little bit about it a couple of weeks ago, and that is they are claustrophobic because Russia itself is landlocked. It can't go to the north because of the ice, and it has no access to waterways to the south or to the west. And the reason it can't get there is because there's always been Europe or Turkey or the Asian countries. So Russia is preoccupied before they had communism, in the time of the Tsars, it's preoccupied with getting out, expanding. For a while, they thought communism was the way to expand. And the way they could expand west was after World War II, they would take the countries on the western border, Poland, the Czech Republic, and then more Yugoslavia and Romania, Bulgaria. They could take that whole area and turn it communist. And then that would give them access to the resources in those countries and also access to the sea. That is what Russia has always been trying to do. Well, obviously, communism failed. And then you had the Cold War. And you had the Cold War after the Second World War when we dropped the atom bomb. Russia could no longer think of expansion by getting rid of us. What Russia has done is Russia needs to expand, and the problem with America has been we are in the way. Russia never wanted to take us over. There's no country in the world that's trying to dock in New York Harbor and then march across and take over America. That has never been a threat. Once we had nuclear weapons, we would never again be threatened because every country knows that if they tried nuclear bombs on us, we would wipe them out, the world will be over. It was called mutual assured destruction. So, even when we had the Cuban Missile Crisis, it wasn't that Russia was going to attack us with missiles. They put missiles in Cuba because that was a bargaining chip that we would get rid of the missiles that we had in Turkey on their border. Remember? Russia just wants to expand where it is. It doesn't need anything we have here in America. It can get all the resources it needs in its own land, in the surrounding countries, in Europe, and get access to the sea. So Russia isn't trying to take us over. What Russia needs is us out of the way. That's why we are the enemy to Russia, because we are the only entity that can prop up NATO, prop up Europe, prop up Turkey, and make sure that Russia can't expand. So, how do you get America then? Missiles are out of the question, because that's the end of the world. They're not going to attack us because it'll be all-out war, so that isn't it. How do you get America? There's only one way you can get America. Remember when we used to talk about America being an idea? It is the only country in the history of the world that was created by an idea. And the idea that people should be free, they can have any religion, be from any place, any ethnic group. There would be a place on earth where you could come and feel like you belong. The Statue of Liberty became our symbol, not a wall. That's the idea America. So if Russia wants America to collapse so that it can't stop them from expanding, the best way to get America is to have America poisoned from within. And the way you poison America from within is you get the American people to no longer believe in the idea America. Now you look at all the things they have been doing. Now all of a sudden the hacking makes sense, because the hacking was to have people lose faith in the electoral system. Oh my gosh, are they hacking it so our election doesn't even reflect how the people really voted? They're going to hack into the DNC to find out Hillary's accounts and make Hillary lose to Trump. All of a sudden, that makes sense. Becoming friends and having a relationship with Trump and some of the other very wealthy people he's putting into the cabinet made sense. It's in Russia's interest that the American middle class gets destroyed, because that's the idea America. So what are they really backing? They back the oligarchs. They back the wealthy people in America. They make business deals with them. They love the idea that there are going to be tax breaks for the top 1% and the middle class gets screwed. They love the idea that Americans are now talking about doing away with health insurance for the middle class. If there's no middle class, there's no America. Every country has a few rich people. What made us different was that you could be middle class and still have a living, still send your kids to school, get a doctorate, all those kind of things. Have a decent life, own your own home, whatever it is. Everything that is being done now by the Russians and the people they are supporting is to hurt the middle class. And while we're talking about doing away with the idea America, which is freedom of religion, freedom of speech, free elections, they're interfering with everything like that. and being a multicultural society. They love the idea that we're turning on each other. Oh, those Hispanics. Oh, those Muslims. Oh, those blacks. Unrest in the cities. Everything they're doing, everyone they support, is with this big picture. Over time, not overnight, but over time. Donald Trump didn't think this up. He's a pawn. He doesn't even know, maybe, that he's being used. But all of this is to destroy that which has kept America so strong and keeps us as an idea that's worth fighting and dying for. So if we start doing away with religious freedom, if we start keeping certain religions out, if we start keeping certain ethnic groups out, if we start doing away with the middle class by denying them medical health insurance, if we start doing all these things, and now getting an American president to say maybe we won't back NATO, that's exactly what the Russians are doing this for. That's what's going on. Final word. There's something even more disturbing. That if this turns out to be the case, will be the biggest story of at least the decade. It will blow up. Several months ago, and it doesn't matter who the person is, but I heard from a really good source, someone I happen to know. He was just saying with all the things, because he was saying ahead of time what was going on with the Russians hacking. And he was in a position to know that there was hacking going on of the Democratic Party. He also added the note that, you know, you may hear soon that the Russians have something on Trump. What it was is financial stuff or something, but they have something on Trump. So I remember telling Gene, I said, we can't say this because, you know, that's ridiculous. I mean, to say something like that and not have any evidence or anything like that. Well, tonight on CNN, and you can go and check it there, but in CNN, it is now being investigated what relationship, specific relationship, Trump and his people had with the Russians, not just that there was hacking and he benefited, but where the Trump people actively involved. And secondly, is there something that the Russians have on Trump? And some of that information was available in the secret meetings they had with Trump just a few days ago.
Briefings.
And Obama, the briefings. You can Google it and you will find out. Because if, and obviously, I don't know, but if they have something on Trump that can blackmail the President of the United States, that is the most serious threat to American security that has taken place in our lifetime. Look, terrorism is horrible. But terrorism, usually you get a blown up building and a whole bunch of people killed. It's horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible. But it doesn't bring down a whole country. But if an American president is being blackmailed or in a position to be blackmailed on something very serious, that is important. And the reason I'm fired up about it now is because I had heard that from what I considered a reasonably good source, and I just said, well, there's, the gossip that goes around Washington. But now, apparently, that was part of the briefings, and there are a few senators that now know about this. And that is what, in fact, Comey was asked today, and he says, I can't comment. He was asked at the hearing today, is this being investigated? And he said, I can't comment, which is very ironic, because he says, I can't comment on ongoing investigations. I wish he would have said that 11 days before the election.
Right.
Anyway, end of story. The point is, the Russians have a plan which is consistent with their existence, with their point of view. If I were Russian, I would be real concerned about that. They're always wanting to expand so that they can have access to the sea. You know, America did the same thing back early in our history. So I get it. But now, this is their way to get America to back off so that they can expand. Not by missiles, not by an attack, not even by sending in a terrorist. It's going to happen because we, the American people, no longer believe in the idea America, no longer believe in the middle class, no longer think it's important to stand up for the idea that it doesn't matter what your religion is, that you should have freedom, that you should be welcome here, that you ought to be able to have health insurance even if you're not wealthy. All these basic things which make us a great country. If we are giving up on that just because the election didn't come out as we wanted, then we are giving up on America. And that is the threat to our country, not from the outside, but from within us.
Yeah. All right, we want to ask Mal
Can
Crow.
I sing one more Elvis song?
Absolutely.
No, you may not.
We have Mal Crow and the Lady Slippers coming in, and
Very well
we
said,
are
Jerry.
so lucky to have them with us. They are outstanding, an all-women's group. I think it's fair to say they're a bluegrass group.
These are our ladies, and these ladies are here most weeks listening to us. They're here anyway, and they are fantabulous.
All right. Got a stand-up bass being lifted up. So, by the way, you can hear them if you go to malcrowmusic.com. That's their website. Malcrow, C-R-O-W, music.com. Latest album is called Black Wings, and I think the first song you're going to sing tonight is called A Song for Eliza, correct?
Eliza, yeah.
All right, here we go. Mal Crow and the Lady Slippers.
Miss Margie Dries wrote the song for us.
All right.
Key? As the sun sinks low, the shadows fall around her. She hurries with her baby in her arms. His sleepy little head rests upon her shoulder. She'll do anything to keep him safe from harm. Soon the stars appear, but she cannot linger. She can hear their footsteps close behind. Tiny arms around her trustingly remind her she has to cross the river. There's no place to hide. Lord, please help me make it across the river. There's no place now for us to hide. Lord, please save us from the icy water. I know that we'll be free on the other side. Through the ice-choked river, her bloody footsteps follow, and anguish and despair God only knows. Clinging to her baby as she stumbles onward, in the cold, dark, and danger, there's still so far to go. Lord, please help me make it across the river. There's no place now for us to hide. Lord, please save us from the icy water. I know that we'll be free on the other side. Lord, please help me make it across the river. There's no place now for us to hide. Lord, please save us from a life of sorrow. I know that we'll be free on the other side. I know that we'll be free on the other side.
you guys are really good. Mall Crow and the
Yeah.
Lady Slippers. And by the way, they were just featured, Megan and Jerry, in Bluegrass Unlimited, November 2016. So if you want to read about them, that's a good bluegrass magazine. And they have other CDs, one called Wayward Daughter and another one called Memory of a Mountain. And Margie Drees, you wrote that song. Great job. Introduce your bandmates, would you?
Oh. Nobody speaks English up here. We
Yeah.
have Trina Emick playing banjo and mandolin for us.
All right.
She's the banjo goddess of Cincinnati. Margie Drees on the fiddle, and she writes our songs for us. Vicki Abbott with the bluegrass habit on the stand-up bass. And I'm Mall Crow with guitar.
All right, Mall Crow. Hey guys, do a second song, and I think the second one is called, it's a traditional song, correct? And it's called A Native Home.
My native home.
My Native Home.
Yeah.
Mall Crow and the Lady Slippers.
I like to see my native home, the lofty trees, the golden sand, the rugged mountains crowded round, my mother's voice, how sweet the sound. Sometimes I dream of home and friends. My dreams are false, my heart is rent. When I wake, I'm all alone. My dreams are false, my friends are gone. Listen to that lonesome dove. He mourns as if her mate was gone, as if like me, left all alone. I like to see my heart's delight, to see his face and eyes so bright, and how he'd smile as I draw near. I'd kiss him with a falling tear. Searching up my native home among the hills. I love to roam.
Mall Crow and the Lady Slippers.
Yeah, well, we see you here a lot, but I mean, you are really, 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 really good.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Just, this is a random thought, but you know, life is unfair because you have so much more talent than I have.
So true. That's the most honest thing that
No,
man has ever
no.
spoken.
Yeah, no, you really do, and there's no correlation between fame and talent.
Nope.
Or even wealth and talent, or anything like
Success
that.
and
That's
a good point,
It's crazy.
Now
I mean, you just you know, you walk through your everyday lives. You're going to the groceries. You do whatever you do, and no one's thinking as you're walking by them, wow, these people really can play great music.
Thank
I'm
you,
really
Jerry.
glad.
We're so proud to be here. Thank you.
And I think
People
it's
see you and they think that you might have talent, which is
Well, because they
So
heard me do
incorrect.
Elvis. I mean, who wouldn't think I was? I've done Elvis longer than Elvis did Elvis.
wow.
Well, I guess that's true.
That's very true.
It's amazing the bluegrass talent that we have in what I call the tri-state area, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. But you guys are like national quality, and so
thank
we're
you.
very happy to have you here.
It
And
really
Margie,
is.
you guys are here like literally every week. It's amazing.
We love you guys.
Get a life.
You're so much more talented than
Yeah,
me
no,
sitting
we're
in
very
our
happy to
audience.
have Margie here. Hey, take us out on Irene Goodnight, would you? And
Please
let
do.
Jerry sing
Yeah,
with you.
I'll
Let's
show you
see.
talent.
Let's see what kind of
Jerry
talent.
gets second verse.
You know you can tell them no.
Okay,
No, no, we won't get it.
I'm ready now.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my man settled down. Now me and my man have parted. Gene and Jerry's gonna go out on the town. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Oh, sometimes I live in the country, and sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump in the river and drown.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Y'all come back now, you hear?